Hi, this is needlepointers.com, and this is the next video in our Learn to Quilt series. If you've been watching the other videos in our series, you've learned how to assemble the blocks, cut the blocks, assemble the blocks together, how to piece a backing, and in our last video we learned how to pin baste the quilt top, batting, and backing together. The next step is to quilt the top, and when you do this, it attaches all three layers of the quilt together so it's all attached. And then the very last step is to put a binding and a label on your quilt. For this quilt, we're going to sew straight lines across the blocks, which will end up creating an X pattern across each one of these blocks. In order to sew straight lines, the best way to do that is to mark it with a marking pencil, and these are basically quilting or dressmaking marking pencils, and the color will wash out once you've washed the quilt. What I've done here is I will start to sew the first line near the center of the quilt. You always want to start quilting from the center, near the center, and work your way out one way or the other way. So I'm going to do a line across this more white with the chicks. To do that, I am going to use my long ruler and line up corner to corner. And I've also actually removed all the pins that are in the way here. And then I'm going to use my marking pencil to make a light line across each one. So now that I have the line marked on my quilt, I'm going to take this to my sewing machine, and I'm going to sew from one corner all the way to the side over there, and then that will be my first quilting line. Okay, so I'm at the machine, and I'm going to sew on top of my marked line. It's very light. The one reason that you can't do larger quilts, or it's much more difficult to do larger quilts by yourself on a sewing machine, a regular sewing machine, is that as you're in the middle of the quilt, you have to roll it all up like I have here. And when if you're doing a queen size quilt or something, you're going to have a huge roll that has to get through the machine. You can try it, but a lot of people have long arm quilters finish your quilts that are that large of size. For quilting the top, I am using this variegated cotton thread that should look really cool on the top of this. And when you are quilting, you use a straight stitch, and then you increase the length of the straight stitch a little bit. I've also put in my foot that's more open in the front so that I can see better where I'm going. So I'm starting slightly back from in the batting area, and then I'm going to go on to the actual quilt. And I won't need to back tack or anything, because this is going to be cut off and then it's going to be bound, so that will hold all the stitches in place. So as you can see, I have my first line of stitching here, and I went off the edge again so that when I trim it, it will then be bound, and the stitches will be held in place. And you can see the pretty variegation in the thread here. So for my next line of stitching, I'm going to go to this one, because these two sets of blocks are in the middle of the quilt, so I want to start and work my way out. So the next thing I'll need to do is take out some pins here. Okay, so I've taken the line of pins out that are in the way, and same as I did last time, I'm going to just line my long ruler up and mark with my pencil So I'm going to the sewing machine and I will stitch this line again, same as I did the first one. I will then continue with the line across this one, each set of blocks in the same direction. I will then continue with the lines on the other side of the quilt across each of these blocks. Once I have all those done, I'll come back and I'll show you how doing the other direction, and then we'll see what it looks like. As you can see, I finished stitching the one direction of lines across this whole quilt, and it's going corner to corner across each of the blocks. Now you could probably leave it like this, but I am going to make an X in each of the blocks, so I'm going to stitch now from corner to corner going the other opposite direction, and then that will result in having stitching in an X across each block. I now have all of the quilting finished going both directions, so you can see now there's like an X in the middle of each block going through it. If you are interested in seeing more photos or to get supplies for this project, please click the iCard or the link in the description of the video to visit our website, needlepointers.com. By visiting our website and purchasing supplies through our links, you can help us keep making more videos. You can keep up with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel and by following us on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, or Google+. Visit our website by clicking the iCard to find the links to follow us. If you are on Pinterest, pin our projects to your wall. This is a great way to keep track of your favorite projects. Visit our website, needlepointers.com, to find lots of other quilting projects and tutorials.